Hi everyone, Steve Janowski here at the RV Factory, Elkhart, Indiana. We come to you factory direct. Excited today, we get to bring to you the Luxe Elite 42MD with our mid bunk that's right behind me. I've got a couple sales reps today. They're going to walk through the coach with you on the inside and out. If you have any questions at this, please give us a call or visit us at thervfactory.com. We'll look forward to giving you the ultimate buying experience.
Christina Remble here with the RV Factory. I'm going to take some time and go over our Luxe Elite 42MD. Just to go over some of the highlights of the Luxe Elite, I'm going to start with the frame, which is a forged steel I-beam frame. We have anywhere from 10 to 12-inch outriggers along both sides of the frame. That helps support the floor, which helps support the walls and helps support the ceiling. So that's why we add all those outriggers. The outriggers are what's used to bolt the floors in place. And if you look underneath, you can see what I'm talking about. If you look here, you can see, and this is just the back half of the coach, but you can see how many outriggers are located underneath the frame. Whenever we know there's going to be a slide room, we will go ahead and weld 2 outriggers in place for the additional support. If we're looking right here, we can see a slide out ram right here. It's racket pinion, gear driven, and the big thing about this is a big slide. It's a heavy slide. So we have to use a 3-inch ram versus a 2-inch ram that a lot of other manufacturers use. That's what helps support all this weight. In addition, you can see how the slide mechanisms are actually built within the frame itself. That's what helps support all this weight. A lot of manufacturers will have slide rooms sitting on top of the floor, while ours are incorporated within the frame. The big thing is we use simple gear driven, but they're electric slide motors. And what that means is, for you, a full-timer, easy access, easy maintenance, easy repair. If this was hydraulic, then what would happen is if you were somewhere and you needed assistance, you would have to have a special hydraulic tech come out. With the electric slide motors, most likely that service center or service tech already has that slide motor in-house. He knows how to change it, he knows how to get to it, and it's a simple and easy repair versus maybe waiting an extra day or two to have a specialized hydraulic tech come out. So that's why we use electric slide motors versus hydraulic. And we're going to go up here, and I'm going to show you our axles, because our axles are a big deal. They're actually 8,000-pound axles, standard. This is a full-time coach, so with a full-time coach you need beefy axles. This is a triple axle floor plan, and with those axles you get the Goodyear tires, H-rated, 17.5, all 3. You get automotive disc brakes, but when you get the Luxe Elite you actually get upgraded to a Kodiak disc brake. So each one of these wheels has a disc brake to them. The big thing is these are all independent suspension axles. What that means is a straight axle, if you hit a pothole, that tire bounces around and then both tires bounce around with it, because whatever affects this tire affects that tire. With the independent suspension, one tire bounces around and the other tire stays nice and flat until that hits a pothole, but each one acts independently. That's one of the best suspensions you can get in a towable RV, and that's what comes standard on the Luxe Elite. Even you get a full-size spare, easy access to it, which is over here. This tray right here makes it easy to get to your spare. One of the features that we also promote on our Luxe Elite is our equalizers leveling system. There are a couple of leveling systems in the market. We feel equalizers best, that's why we use it. And one of the reasons why is, take a look at this right here. Look how thick this is, and look how wide the base pad is. That's actually 13 inches in diameter, okay? And you have 2 of them in the front. Then in the back, you also have larger pads for stability. So when you walk in a coach, you don't hear it squeaking, you don't see it moving around. That's because of the equalizer. Your controls are over here around the corner. It's recessed in its own compartment. It's not exposed over here, and you don't have to get access to it from the inside of your compartment area. This is auto leveling, and it does have a memory too, so that if once you unhook and it comes time to re-hook up to your hitch, this actually has a memory of the overall height you were at when you unhooked to begin with. That just needs to be programmed in there. In addition, we have the MORride fifth wheel hitch. This comes standard. Again, this is a full-time luxury fifth wheel. These features all come standard, they're not optional. And what this does, you can kind of see it right here, this has a nice big thick rubber grommet, and that's what helps with that chucking you get when you stop and it takes a split second or two for the fifth wheel to catch up. That all comes standard. This in conjunction with the proper hitch on your truck, and this won't even feel like you're back there. If we look inside, this unit has a generator prep. So we have the generator box already pre-wired for inside. So if you decide to add a generator later on, it's an easy install. That's why we do that. If you notice in here, we have easy access to your batteries down here, to your inverter there, to your hydraulic fluid there. Easy access to get to everything. You've got a light in here, you've got your battery disconnect here, but if you had to work on something, you can get to it easy enough. You can also see the level of your hydraulic fluid. It's not encased somewhere where you have to crawl around to see it. And the big thing is, if you scan this way, you can see the color-coded lines that are put on for your landing gear, your leveling gear. So that way, if you ever had to troubleshoot, you can match up whatever color-coded lines are giving you issues, if you need them. It's just there to help out. Our inverter is a 2,000 watt inverter, standard. That's for your residential refrigerator. And since a lot of times your residential refrigerator's actually on the same slide as your television, what we're doing now is we're actually running the 110 from your television to this inverter too, so that if you do happen to stop at Walmart overnight, you can watch a little TV on your local HD antenna. The thickness of these compartment doors, you have to see and feel for yourself. They're very heavy duty, just like a motorhome's. Again, thick compartment doors, beefy gas struts. Here is the compartment area for the 42MD. This will vary depending on the floor plan. Okay, so sometimes you might have a little bit more, sometimes you might have a little bit less. But the whole idea is to maximize the space in here the best we can. And to do that, what we've done is we put one 40-gallon LP tank here and one 40-pound LP tank on the other side. Because if we put them side by side, we'd be taking up too much room of your cargo capacity here, okay? So we keep them on each side. The other thing I'll point out, since I've got this door open, and right now we don't have an LP tank in here, but I want you to see how this is constructed inside. This is all part of that frame construction. Some manufacturers will have a crossbar going across here for support, and that's fine because you need support up here, because this initially it can be considered like a weak spot on a lot of fifth wheels. But we know we need more, so what we've done is we've welded the steel plate. You can see all the welds behind there. That gives us that additional support. And then if you look at this right here, look how wide this piece right here is on our frame. How thick and how wide it is. Again, this is all for supporting this upper deck because there's a lot of weight that sits up here. There are no stress cracks in our fifth wheels, or pre-drilled stress cracks in our fifth wheels. As we're looking here in the compartment area, I want to point out a couple of things. Here is what's vital. You have compartment doors to give you access to what's going on back here with your mechanicals. And why this is important is a simple reason. The more you know what's going on back here, the better off we all are. Because A, you can see if you start to see, say, black soot, or if you start to see maybe black mold, or if you start to see a nest building, then you know you have to take care of something before it becomes a bigger issue. That's why we put compartment doors, so you can at least look back there. If you had to work on something, again, we try and make it as easy as possible so that you can do it if you can, or if a technician has to come in and take care of it, they get easy access to it too. The less time spent on your coach, the better off we all are. One more thing I'll point out, because we're right here, we have LED lights in our cargo area, but we also have these nice blue lights too. And people always ask me why we do both. One simple reason. If you're watching TV out here, if you didn't get the outside entertainment, your cable hookup would be inside, okay? But you don't want these bright LED lights because they're going to attract bugs. So you turn that one off and you turn on your nice blue accent light on. That way you still have some light to sit outside without attracting bugs. Just some of the little things we do based on customer feedback. Outside we have exclusive to the Luxe Elite are 4 additional compartment doors in the frame. Anywhere we can maximize space, we'll maximize space to give you storage. If you get the power cord reel, you're going to lose one of these doors on the opposite side for the storage of the power cord reel, but that still leaves you 3 compartment doors. The Luxe Elite comes standard with 2 furnaces, okay? They're dual zone, which means you have 1 furnace for the lower deck, 1 furnace for the upper deck. And what that does is your furnace location and your ductwork doesn't have far to travel. Okay, this furnace location and ductwork doesn't have far to travel in the upper deck, so it's much more efficient than trying to tie the 2 in. Same thing with your air conditioners. This unit comes standard with 3 15,000 BTU air conditioners, okay? 2 for the lower half of the coach and 1 for the upper deck, okay? That's what the dual zone is. And what that does is with your 2 AC furnaces here, again, you'll have 6 or 8 AC ducts in the ceiling, but it's not trying to travel all the way to the front of the coach to try and cool you. You have a whole nother AC that does that. So that's why we use a dual zone system. You see the frameless windows, those are dual pane, those are standard. Again, this is a luxury full-time 5th wheel. So dual pane windows come standard, it's not an option. On the Luxe Elite, you get full body paint, your choice of several different choices, but you get full body paint as standard. The only decal will be in the front. And what this is, it's true automotive paint with UVA inhibitors in it, with 2 coats of clear coat on top of that, and they're wet sanded in between. So if you go up to it, it's not like you can feel some of the ridges that you would normally feel like on decals. Okay, easier to maintain when you have full body paint. You would treat it just like you would your vehicle. Anything you wouldn't use on your vehicle, you wouldn't want to use on your 5th wheel. All LED lights are standard, inside and out. The only LED light we do not offer is the one in the ceiling fan, but everything else is all LEDs. You have your standard awning with your LED lights, and then you have the optional dinette patio awning, but that also comes with the LED lights. And it also comes with the weather guard protector. I don't know if you can see that right up on top, just like the main one. So when it's all rolled up, it's being protected by the elements. Our awnings are actually an off color, not white, because again, we listen to customer feedback. So we keep them in off color so that dirt and grime do not show as much. Outside, we have our new color scheme called Equinox. And even though this looks silver, burgundy, and black, it actually has some really fine sparkle in here. And then if you look at the black closely, especially in the sun, you can see the burgundy specks. So that's new for our Luxe Elite line. Outside speakers, marine grade. And then our little stereo is right here. We try and keep it simple. Jensen, good brand, and Jensen marine grade speakers. 110 outlet here. And then we'll put a 110 outlet on the slide as well. Those are all standard. This has the outside entertainment option. When we do the outside entertainment option, which comes with your television, your DVD, more outside speakers, and this is also a Bluetooth stereo, same as that one right there. But when you get this outside entertainment system, you automatically get the buffet table and chairs on the inside, because as you can see, we have to find a way to house the whole setup within the wall itself. So that's why you get the buffet table. But you get this nice compartment door, keeps it nice and sealed. With the Luxe Elite and the Ambition, we do what's called a hung wall construction. Now there's two types of construction. One's a laminated wall or a laminated process, and then one's a hung wall process. And what this does is every 16-inch on center on this coach, you'll have an aluminum stud. In between that aluminum stud, you'll have the flex foil insulation. It's special adhesives put on so it stays in place. And then once the wiring's done, they'll go ahead and put another layer of the batten insulation. Again, it'll be sprayed in place so it doesn't shift down over time. And then when that's done, they'll go ahead and secure one solid sheet of gel coat to the side of the coach. It's just one long piece that gets secured onto the side of the coach. That, once it's secured, it takes 5 hours to cure, okay? So it's labor intensive, it's an expensive process, but repairs are easier. And if anything happened where you did scratch, did dent, you're not compromising the whole sidewall, okay? It's a gel coat, so you would treat it as such, so you would fill it in, primer it, paint it, clear coat, and you're good to go without jeopardizing the whole structure of the sidewall. But once it's cured, they have to go through and router out all your openings for your doors, your windows, your vents, your compartment doors. And what that gives you is a nice fit and finish for your seals. So now you've got a nice clean seal for your compartment doors, for your vents, for your windows, your doors, even little things like your outlets. It's for a full-time coach, it's one of the things that we excel at because we're trying to make it easier for the retail customer. Anytime we can make it easier for the retail customer, again, the better off we all are. If you notice, the paint actually gets brought over the top of the roof a little bit. You would think that that is that one-piece roofing material that we use across our roofs, which is a TPO, but it's not. We actually put a metal guard up on top because that's going to hold the paint better than the TPO. You can prep it all you want, but it's still TPO. That's why we use metal when we do the full body paint to wrap the roof line. One other thing I'll point out, and then I'll go ahead and pass it over to Deb Schmucker. Again, there are a lot of things we do to make this a better coach, to make it a better fifth wheel. One of the things we do here is this fender skirt is very solid. And the reason why is because we actually add additional supports, okay, to make it solid. We use a thicker gauge sheet metal to make it solid. Again, the more we do in the beginning, the less you have to do in the long run. Seals are important too. It's important to make sure you take care of your seals. But this has what we call a triple seal. It has two flap seals. There's one behind here, this flap seal, and a bulb seal. And if you look on top, we actually have a flap seal on top that actually looks like it's kind of a squeegee. As the slide comes in, it'll help squeegee off all the material that sits on top. Water, debris. You can also get slide toppers if you want. That's also an option. When this slide comes in, this is actually flush with the wall. Okay, it doesn't overlap on the side, it's actually flush with the wall. That, again, is another process that we do on the Luxe Elite to make it stand out better. That way, all your seals are all protected within the slide. They're not out here being exposed. But that's why we do that. These little things here, I ask a lot of folks if you know what these are. Get a lot of guesses, but what these are called are flappers. This helps to ensure that your seals are all, when they come out, that they flap against the coach the way they're supposed to. Okay, if they don't, then it's up to you to make sure that they do, because once these seals get tweaked a little bit, it gets a little harder each time your slide room comes out. So we do these little things to ensure that they come out properly. I'll talk about the warranty. We have 5 years on the sidewall, 3 years on the frame, 1 year comprehensive on everything else. What that means is first year with your mechanicals, you go through us. After that, you'll have to go back to the supplier. They all have several different warranties for a lot of their mechanicals. The air conditioner, the refrigerator, the heater, the furnace, all that stuff has their own warranties. So just the first year through us, after that, you'll go to your supplier. And then I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Deb Schmucker, who's going to take you in onto the inside of the coach.
Hi, I'm Deb Schmucker from the RV Factory, and I'm on the inside of the 42MD that we just showed at the Hershey Show. The 42MD floor plan came out in February of 2016, and actually this last Hershey Show was the first time we were able to get one complete that wasn't purchased prior to the show and actually got to show it, and we had great reviews from it. So we want to make sure you get to see it. When you come into the Luxe Elites, which are our premier coach, some of the things that you'll notice immediately is the coach is very quiet, and part of that is because we have the thick walls, but we also have the padded soft touch walls. This is our control panel for our lights. You have several throughout the coach. They're all programmed for each location, but they all have a master switch. And so the nice thing is when you come in or going out, you can actually shut all the lights off at one time, and you can turn them all back on at one time. And they have that at different locations throughout the coach. Each panel runs certain things. So that's our multiplex lighting that we're very proud of and people really like to have. On this side, when you come in the door, is where our control panels are. We put cabinets over them so they're not easy for people to get into or to accidentally touch or change. This is where you'll have all of your controls, such as your slide out controls. They're all independent. Your water heater, gas, electric, water pumps, awnings, your surge protectors, your sea level gauges. You're going to have switches for your lights. Gen Prep has the Onan remote start here. So all of this is enclosed inside these doors. It still keeps it very residential looking when you come inside. Down here is where we have our control panels and our more residential breaker box. Not just the plastic, but actually a metal style breaker box. That's all right here where you have easy access, easy to get to. We try to make our units as, I call it frustration free, easy to work with. When you walk into this area, this is the living area of the 42MD. This one has the buffet style table, 2 chairs. We have 2 folding chairs that come with it. One of the nice things about this table is you can use it as a work area. You can put a piece up here so that you can set food up there if you want. The table looks small, but actually will pull out and actually has 2 leaves, so it actually can make a large table when you get in it, when you put it out to full capacity. And it has no legs underneath. So the fact that we have no legs underneath it is also a really nice feature because you don't have to worry about trying to work around a pedestal with your seating. So that's simple as well. You have some storage on each side of the buffet. You have shelves here. This is actually the back side of your outside entertainment center, but you do have storage on each end. One of the features that makes the Luxe Elite really unique in the industry is, of course, we're straight line roof. So we have the tall slides, as many of them do, but we stay very clean, we stay very light. The beachfront is our most popular cabinetry, but we have the large, when you have the taller slides, you now also have larger storage space in your slide, easy to get to, easy to use. And can store a lot of things in there as well. We have residential flooring. This is Shaw individually laid tiles on our floor. So the nice thing about these is if you have an issue with the tile, if something gets scratched, if something gets under a slide, damages a tile, we don't have to take out the slides. We don't have to tear the whole unit apart to replace all the linoleum or the bow floor. You actually can just heat it up. You can bring up 1 or 2 tiles, lay 2 more down or whatever you needed, and the floor is repaired without doing a whole lot of work. If you come to the tour, you'll see that the Shaw tiles are also very flexible, and that's very important in the fact that this unit's going up and down the road. So it keeps these units, it keeps them very pliable so they ride well in the coach as well. We have our island. We use solid surface countertops. I'm sure in many of the videos you've seen the spot where we can do phone charging. That was one of the popular places at the Hershey Show. Everybody was laying their phones down and charging them while they were in there. We have a lot of workspace on this end of the countertop. Being that this is an MD and has an extra room, we still managed to get you a lot of living space on the downstairs. You also notice we have the theater seating as always. We have the hide-a-bed, which I know has been shown that this style does have the bed inside to make a hide-a-bed. One of the features I like to point out And if you notice, we have 2 registers here. Normally in our units, you'll not see any registers in the floor. This one has 2 registers because it has the Arctic package. The Arctic package takes your 2 20,000 BTU furnaces and changes them to 235s, gives you extra insulation on your water lines, extra heat pad on the fresh water tank, and by boosting this up to 35,000 BTU furnaces, we have to put 2 registers. We bring them clear to the back to get the heat away from the furnace. But we still have one of the things that's most appealing to people when they buy this coach, especially to the women, is we have this big floor space. So you can do an airbed here if you would need to. You can bring in nice area rugs. We don't have registers coming down both sides of the floor. So you actually have the room to do a big area rug and introduce colors and change it. And when it gets old, you can take it out and your floor still looks new. And that's an important feature to a lot of people. And of course, we come standard with the entertainment center that has a storage behind it, the fireplace. You have storage beside the fireplace, still to put a lot of things that you need to. You have your overhead large storage up here, over your sofa. Again, you can see the multiplex light switches around that are going to control different things. This one will actually run the fan that's in the ceiling. So you can do it all from your chair. You don't have to get up and move all of the chains or turn the switches on it. When you go back into this area, now we're going to go into our kitchen area. So we are, again, very residential. Some of the things that I love about the Luxe Elite, and about all of our lines actually, is our drawer manufacturing and our cabinets. So our drawers are all soft close. We do some features that make them very unique, and one is that we put all the glides underneath the drawer, okay? And by doing that, we keep the width, and it also gives you extra support under your drawers because that's where the most weight lies. They are all tongue and groove fittings. You don't see a lot of nails. It's solid wood. It's not a compressed wood that they use to make it. We have the insert that we do that, again, is solid wood, and it can come out for your utensils. And the other nice feature is that you will see on some, you'll see solid wood sides. Our bottom is solid wood. And that's important because we keep the strength of our drawers, we keep the integrity of our drawers, and make it as residential as possible. One of my favorite features, all soft close as well. This one has the option of the dishwasher. We use the best dishwasher. It's one that's been around in the industry in the high-end fifth wheels for some time. I get reviews back from my customers. One of the things that they say is if they get a dishwasher, it will always be a brand like this, the Fisher Pica. It's a drawer brand, actually big enough that it can hold pots and pans or dishes. It is high efficiency, it's water efficient. And it just does a great job. So it goes into the majority. Most people will option it, but we have some that prefer not to, so it is an option. Over here again, we have the residential refrigerator, 21 cubic foot, a lot of storage, freezer in the bottom, very efficient. And of course, going down the road runs from our inverter. Over here you have the actual stove area. This one optioned, the residential stove. This is the 24-inch. It's what's most common that we do in the slides. It has an actual oven, just like you have at home, which is a big draw for most of our customers, especially the ones who like to cook and the ones who like to bake and roast things. So this has been a huge feature in our coaches for several years. We had, instead of the floor to ceiling here, we gave you extra counter space. So now we have counter space beside our stove, which is important to people when they're working. So we give you extra workspace. You have storage underneath. With drawers, we can do different things here. This one has all the drawers in, so we have more storage, like in the pantry. All soft close again, all made the same, even when they go into our pantries. We don't change on that. We have hidden hinges on our doors as well, so you don't see that. So it's very residential. Convection microwave in all the units. So if you don't have an oven, if you option to go with the induction cooktop, which is standard, and give you more storage underneath, which a lot of people do, you still have a convection oven so that you can do baking up here. And it's a 30-inch, so it's big enough to take the 9 by 13 pans and do everything that you need to. if you don't have an oven. We have lighting above the TVs and above this area, LED lighting. All of our lighting is LED lighting, and all of it can be dimmed. So you can bring this down to the atmosphere and the tone that you want, depending on what you're doing in your coach. We have solid surface countertops, and then our sinks are amazing. Our sinks are the double, they're 50/50s, so they're the same on each side. Very deep, very residential. You can get pans in here to clean them. You can stack dishes in here. You can set a strainer in here. So it's just like being at home. And of course we have the feature of the pull-out head on our faucets so that you can spray and rinse things, again, just like you did at home. This is truly your home. One of the other things they do is they utilize all their space very, very well. And so in this unit, because we're going to go into another room in just a minute, we wanted to give you a little bit more counter space if at all possible. So they put cabinets up here for storage of things you may not use every day. Then you have this storage, which is beautiful. It makes like a hutch. This is a great area to set a toaster, coffee pot, any of the other items that you might use in your coach that you don't want to have in the area where you're working. So we gave you this extra hutch space. Again, drawers, extra storage, shelving, and this is adjustable shelving in this. So if you needed to, you can move it up for some of your bigger items to be able to store down here. Crock pots, some of your bigger or heavier pots and pans that you might want to put in the bottom. You can move this up and set them down there so you can adjust the space and make it workable for you. We have an outlet on this side. I'm sorry, they moved it up here. The outlet is up here so that you can, like I said, put your crock pot or a coffee pot on there. So this is a very usable space. And since we are in a home, some people like to use it just for their pictures, just for their little knickknacks that they want to have. And it just makes a gorgeous living area down here. This is where you walk through to what we call the magic room. This is the additional room. So we have, again, solid core doors, which is a big deal for our company as well. If you listen to this, when they roll, you can tell that it's a very heavy door. It's a beautiful door. You can lock it in so it stays open. And you're going to come into what we call the mid-den. The mid-den has been used, and we've already done several, and we've configured them in many different ways. This is standard. So standard, you would get a jackknife sofa. You have storage under the jackknife sofa. Again, soft closed doors even there. You have cabinets above the sofa. You have a lot of light in this room. This room can be a room where it can be a hobby room. It can be an office. We did put the washer and dryer compartment down here. So here's your washer and dryer. It's away from your bedroom. It's not taking up space in your bathroom. And if you don't want a washer and dryer, you can always do it for more hanging. You can put shelves in it. So that we do a lot of what we call tweaking to our units to make them yours, to make it the most functional for you when you purchase your coach. And those are things you talk about with your rep when you come in. And so this area is very, very functional. We also have the high storage, again, where you can store extra bedding, where you can store extra, I can't even think, like utensils, or like your crock pots, jackets, that you may not use all the time. So we give every inch, we try to give you as much storage as possible. This a lot of times will turn into a workstation. It will turn into a children's room, and we can make this bunks. So you do have standard. You have a hanging closet here for their clothes. You have more storage on the top, and you have drawers on the bottom. So you can turn this into a kid's room. You can turn it into another room for family members when they come to visit. Or you can make it just a room where, if you're truly full-time, it's always nice to have another room where you can get away and do your own thing a little bit. So this has been an extremely popular coach and has done extremely, very, very well for us, and we're excited about it. We're going to walk up now to the front area. So we're going to go in. It's kind of a hallway. This is where you entered the coach. These were all your control panels. This is where you have the control, and I know Christina hit on the fact that we are truly, this unit is actually truly triple zone. So you have 3 airs on this unit because it's triple axle, so 2 of them will run the downstairs, 2 of them will run the upstairs. Your furnaces, 1 runs the downstairs, 1 runs the upstairs. Here's another control panel, and you can see it's going to shut off our lights here. We can turn our lights back on. Another master control, so you could shut everything down from here or turn it on if you wanted to. You have the fantastic fan that's in the kitchen area. Opens up, that pulls a lot of heat, pulls a lot of air through your coach. Then as you come on up through here, we put lights. We put 2 windows in our hallway. This is one of the sensors for the temperature control. This gives you a lot of light in your hallway, so it stays very light in your coach. It brings in a lot of natural light. This is your bathroom. You have a nice vanity that has room on both sides. So, you know, to lay like your toothbrush, your hairbrush, all of those things. So it does have room. We have an outlet right beside it. We have the medicine cabinet, which gives you a lot of storage with the shelf. So you can see it's deep. So you can get a lot of things in here as well. We have a slight lip on this, so it protects it. Underneath, you have a lot of storage under here for your cleaning products, baskets if you put your hair products, all of that in there, so you can get things put away. We've went to using the glass backsplash in the bathrooms as well, which is a really nice residential feature in our coaches, with lighting underneath, so you get some ambient lighting that you could leave that on if you wanted to at night. You have, of course, the toilet. You have your linen closet, so you can get a lot of towels, a lot of products, storing your toilet paper, storing anything that you need to in here. You have a lot of room, and it's very deep. It's probably about 20 inches deep. You have your hooks, so you can hang towels or hang a robe. And then, of course, you have the big shower, the 48-inch wide with the seat, the big skylight, so it brings in light. It is frosted, so it doesn't bring in as much heat and gives you, tall guys, a little bit more headroom. Then the last feature is the master bedroom. So up here we have a king-size bed. You have nightstands on each side. Again, you have one of the thermostat controls, the gauges. You have your light panel. So again, you can shut off all the lights from the bed if you decide not to go back downstairs. You have the same control panel there. You have a king-size bed. You have your reading lights. You have a place to lay things on the top, your books, your magazines that we keep open. You have clothes storage for those things that you don't want it to be able to fall out or to show. You have some shelves on the bottom of this, which is a great place to like set a cup of water if you have water beside you every night. You can lay your phones here to recharge. You have outlets at there that you can run the cords right along the side, lay your phones down here. You have a 42-inch television in your entertainment center. You have storage underneath. You have storage here as well. You have shelving underneath. You can use this for trinkets if you want to be able to show something. I've also had people that have closed this in so they could use it for clothing storage, so we are versatile with that. We have storage underneath. A great area to like stack jeans and sweatshirts and that type of thing. Whatever you want to use it for. Everybody has their own things and their own way of storing when they go full time. We have a sliding door here that locks in. Again, a full core, a solid core door. And you'd be amazed at the amount of sound that it shuts out from the front to the back when you close that door. We have what we call the walk-in closet. So you have the frosted panels in the door so that you can get some light from there if you want. You have your ambient lighting up here as well, and ambient lighting up here, which is the blue. So you can do a lot of things with toning down the light in here if you're up here reading, if you're watching television. All lights in the ceiling are also dimmable, so it runs from your control panel. Well, in the Luxe Elite, one of the really nice features is when you go inside the closet, they have what we call the dressers. And one of the things that a lot of times you don't get in units is you don't get enough drawer space, especially in the bedroom. So we have, again, and if you notice, even up here, we've not skimped on anything. Our drawers are exactly the same as what we use out in the kitchen. Solid wood bottoms, the drawer glides go underneath. That keeps our width wider. It gives us extra support on the floor of the drawer, and it's still soft close. So you have 3 drawers on each side. You have your full rod, so you can hang clothes. You have your shoe rack, where you can set shoes, hats, whatever you want to store in there. And you have ample storage on the floor for shoes or whatever you want to use it for. And you have outlets in here. So like if you want to set things in there that maybe you're going to charge during the night or whatever, we actually put outlets on either side for your personal items that you would want to maybe plug into the inside of your closet and have it out of sight. So that kind of takes you through the interior. There's a lot of things about our units that we are so proud about, and the work quality that we do, you know, the interiors that we do, and this unit has been extremely popular. I hope you'll come and see us, come and visit us. Let us take you on a tour of the plant and show you our entire build and walk you through our finished units so you can touch and feel them and really see what we're talking about. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you.